week 6 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few wide receivers. I have his sleeper options this week. The first guy, Slayton of the New York Giants. So right here, he looked like he was operating as the number one wide receiver with Slayton in week 5 of Green Bay. But right now, it's a mess over there in the New York Giants wide receiver room. You obviously got Kenny Golladay banged up. Kadarius Toney banged up. Robinson, the rookie, he's banged up. We don't know if he's going to play. And it's pretty much down to Darius Slayton and Richie James Jr. So last week at Green Bay in London, 6 catches, 79 yards. And this week here on paper, it's a decent matchup. Baltimore Ravens give up the third most fantasy points to wide receivers on the season. But Daniel Jones, he just hasn't been connected with his wide receivers this season. But obviously, these guys really aren't number one options at all here. But right now, Darius Slayton available in 98% of fantasy leagues. And he's a guy that's getting volume and making some plays last week here. So I would give him a shot if you're desperate for a sleeper this week. The next guy is Randall Cobb, or reliable, of the Green Bay Packers. So Randall Cobb last week had one of the best games in a while here for Cobb. 13 targets, which is a huge number. 7 catches, 99 yards. So we know Allen Lazard and Romeo Doubs are the 1-2 guys over there right now for the Green Bay Packer team. But Randall Cobb, always that good slot guy and reliable hands for the most part throughout his career. So right now, still available in 90% of fantasy leagues. And to be honest, in a pretty decent matchup versus the New York Jets, I think Randall Cobb could put up decent PPR numbers, maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 fantasy points as a third wide receiver or flex option. So this week here, Randall Cobb I have as a sleeper. Aaron Rodgers is obviously comfortable with him, going way back to many years ago before he left Green Bay. He was on the Packers, and then going to the Dallas Cowboys, going to the Texans, and now he's back over here with the Packers from the middle of last season to this year. And he's a decent sleeper option, in my opinion, with the bye weeks and with the performance we saw for him last week. And the third and final wide receiver I have as a sleeper option this week is Quranic of the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams, they're looking for answers at wide receiver. Besides Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson hasn't done much. Von Jefferson, he's on IR. And Odell Beckham obviously torn the ACL, and he's not on this Ram team. And I don't know if he's going to sign anyway with the Rams once he's healthy. But he was a big vertical threat for them last season. But anyways, Quranic, he's getting playing time. And he's actually put up decent numbers over the last few weeks. Week 3 at Arizona, 4 catches, 66 yards. Week 4 at San Francisco, a down game, 2 catches, 33 yards. And then week 5 versus the Cowboys, 8 targets, 6 catches, 41 yards. So right now, in the deepest of leagues, I would go out there and get Quranic as a sleeper option and a guy who could possibly help my fantasy team. Right now, he versus a Carolina Panther team that's middle of the pack versus wide receivers, giving up the 6th most fantasy points to wide out. So right now, Matthew Stafford has some trust in him. He's higher than, obviously, Allen Robinson, in my opinion, in the pecking over there at wide receiver. So if you need a guy in deeper leagues, Quranic could be that sleeper option. So that's a few wide receivers I have as sleepers here for week 6 of the fantasy football season.